Hello and good evening to you, wherever you are. Thank you so much for joining me. If you're joining live, thank you so much. And if you are going to be watching this recorded version of this broadcast, thank you again. I really appreciate you and I appreciate what you guys are really all about. And, a lot of you guys have been coming here and irregularly to be able to for us to fellowship, because I see this as a fellowship, as learning from each other, believe it or not. I read a lot of your comments so as much as I can, so I sort of like need to know and understand where you guys are at also, and what you guys are thinking about some of the things I got to say, and what I could learn from you also. So that's very important. So thank you so much from the different people that are watching. Oh, watching from USA. Oh, thank you, Terry. We have watching from the UK, London to be precise. Thank you, guys. Thank you, guys. Yeah, Relebo Hile. Thank you so much. Happy Sunday to you also. Greetings also to you, Mpokloka from Botswana. Hello, my sister Kibareng from Botswana also. Namibia, Germany is in the house. Oh, wow, 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 wow. Danke, Sha. John Kane from Zambia, Trevor from Botswana, Nomsa is a regular. Uh, and then there is Katoma saying, surprise us, Brother Solomon. I'm not sure what I'm going to share would surprise you. But anyway, it's going to be something that I don't think is out there in the news that people are really talking about. But from my investigations and my sources, that's what I'm going to be sharing. Just going to adjust my seat. That's what I'm going to be sharing. So it's not going to be. I'm not sure if it's going to be something that would surprise people or not. But let's see. George from Port Elizabeth. Thank you so much. DJF. Yeah, my man from Nelspret. Abigail said hi to the best journalist. Thank you. Thank you. Journalism is an idea from God. It's not just a human idea, because journalism is all about truth and justice, and anybody that uses journalism outside of that is actually breaking the code. The idea that it was created. Actually, the first people that created the newspaper and journalism themselves, they were Christians. They were Christians, and a lot of people don't know that they were Christians. So we need to be able to do that, because the more we do that, the more it's going to be better for us, all of us, and in all that we do. Let me turn my mic maybe this way, yeah, just so I could speak into it, and I put my notes over here. So yeah, we got Crystal Claire from New Jersey, USA. Thank you. Luingiswa, thank you. Pete from Everton. Everton, Pete, stay away from Rivers of Living Waters Ministries, Church of Bishop Zondo. Oh wow, we got David from Nkandla, all the way, the home of former President Jacob Zuma. Please say hi to him. Tell him, please, we need to see him at the Zondo Commission, just so he can share whatever he needs to share. Thank you, Naomi from Germany. Yeah, she promised she was going to tune in. Thank you, guys. Thank you, guys. And please, could you please, if you're watching on Facebook or even on YouTube and you haven't subscribed yet, I would please want to encourage you guys to please subscribe. The more you subscribe, the more you're going to be able to get notifications whenever I'm coming live, and also you can be able to share some of these things with others, because the whole idea is for us to keep sharing some of these things with others. So please subscribe right now. If you're watching on Facebook and you haven't subscribed to Solomon's Temple, please go there right now and subscribe. That is important to what we do, and please also tag people that they need to watch, and also share this link on Facebook or on Twitter, That's and also on YouTube. Please share it. Please share it right now, please. I would really appreciate if you could share that that and because that's that way we're going to be able to get to get the news around. We got Limpopo in the house. Thank you, Katoyima. I subscribed and shared. Thank you so much. Thank you, guys. Please, guys, subscribe right now. Subscribe right now as I begin to to get into into just the drift of things. Subscribe right now. Subscribe right now. Subscribe right now. Yes. Thank you, guys. Thank you. Thank you so much. Really appreciate it. Timothy Zaka from Just Nigeria. Yes. Timothy it's been a while I saw him. We went to high school together from way back. Prophet Daniel, thank you. You're in the house indeed. Thank you, guys. Share, share, share. Thank you, guys. Really appreciate it. Subscribe, subscribe, subscribe. Thank you so much. So I'm not going to waste much of your time. I'm going to spend, I think, the next 40 minutes or so just to, to share some of the events, some of the things that have been happening in the last week or so. And a lot of what has been happening is actually it's sort of like shocking, isn't it? It's sort of like shocking. But let me just write this here. Okay. Right. So we're going to be talking about why Bushiri escaped. Why Bushiri escaped. I'm sure I've spoken about Bushiri's problem and cases, not just a case. Last year he was arrested and also spent about a week in prison, and he got bailed for money laundering, and his aircraft, private jet, was confiscated, and he was restricted into traveling overseas. His passport was seized. And also he was only allowed to travel within the province where he's located, and also to the neighboring province where he has a business and a hotel called Sparkling Waters Hotel in Rustenburg, which is about 2 hours from where I am, which is in Johannesburg, South Africa. Now, this year also he was arrested. So I'm trying to give you a recap just so we can be on the same page. This year also he was also arrested. A couple of weeks ago, he spent about, I think, 16 days in prison with his wife, Mary. I must not forget that. For money laundering, for fraud, figures being pounced around is about 102 million South African rand that he allegedly, not even allegedly. For me, this is not even allegations because they are truth. Because I did a program. If you check out, I think it was last week. I did a program where I actually spoke to some of the victims that invested money into this Forex and on this investment scheme, and they lost millions we're talking about here, right? So, but then he got bailed. Then obviously he just got bailed, not even a week later, and he left. He left the country. Now, part of his bail condition, what the magistrate, the judge, told him was like, first, you surrender all your passports that you have in your possessions, right? Secondly, you have to make sure that you surrender the title deed to your home, Midrand in Johannesburg, in Centurion, midstream. So he surrendered. That home is worth about 5 million. That's where he resides. And also, he had to pay 200,000 for his bail. And also he was being asked that every Monday and Friday, he needs to report to the nearest police station close to his home. Every Monday and Friday between 6 a.m. and 6 p.m. with his wife, Mary, right? He's supposed to report. This is they're here. So, you know, so he's supposed to report every Friday, both of them, Shepherd and Mary, they're supposed to report every Friday to the police station between 6 and 6 a.m. and 6 p.m. and then on Monday between 6 a.m. and 6 p.m. So that means he has to report to the police station twice a week, just so they will monitor and make sure that he is within the country. And also part of the bail condition, he was told not to attack, instigate, or have any sort of communication with the prosecutors, with the members of the police that investigated him, and also with the witnesses, you know, that are there. So those are the bail conditions that he got, right? And obviously his supporters were out there supporting him, and he got bailed, and that was just it. So the same day he got bailed, which was 2 Wednesdays ago, you know, he had a broadcast, live broadcast, and you could see that he was very restricted. He couldn't talk about the case because he was probably gonna put himself into trouble and his bail conditions, and the bail will be revoked. And then that means he's just going to go straight to prison, and he's not going to come out of prison. He's going to stay in prison during the duration of the trial. So if the trial is starting only next year in February or next year in June, he will be in prison all the way. So he was very careful. You know, I watched a bit of this broadcast and you could see that he was very careful, because normally he wasn't careful. Normally he's always pompous and prideful and say, well, you know, you think you can get me, you don't know who I am, you know, and he uses the pulpit to threaten people, to intimidate people, and speak, you know, that he's untouchable, you know, and even use scriptures or use you know, the biblical approach to threaten people. That's what he does. You know, he's done that quite a lot, and I know that he's mentioned my name before, so I know that it's basically something that is out there. Now, from last Wednesday, 2 Wednesdays ago when he got bailed, until this Wednesday, so much happened. We see it in the news. It's not even just in South Africa, it's global news. If you go to Al Jazeera, if you go to BBC, all over, you know, there's news about this prophet who fled, who absconded, who escaped, who jumped bail from South Africa to his home country, Malawi. It's all over the news. For a lot of South Africans, this is embarrassing. And it's all over the news. It's been trending all through Saturday when the news broke out. Now, a lot of what people don't know is the news only broke out on Saturday, yesterday. But that's for the main news media. But I broke this story through one of my sources. I broke this story on Friday. I mentioned it. And on Saturday, I mentioned it again. But people didn't really understand what I was trying to say, right? Let me show you what I did. This is the first time I put the story out, right? Today is the 15th of November. Check out the date. It's the 13th of November at 8:27 in the evening. 8:27 in the evening. That's when I broke the story. And I put it in the statement. I say, what if I tell you that Bushiri has run away from South Africa? That was Friday evening, right? You can see the comments. So a lot of people didn't really say, okay, are you serious, Solomon? No, that's not what you're saying. Some were like, I know, some people were saying I wouldn't be surprised and all that kind of stuff, you know, and it's quite, you know, it's quite obvious, right? So when I broke this story, it was straight out from my source. And to be honest with you, sometimes I felt like I actually got the story a bit late, because I only got the story a day after he had stepped in Namibia, in Malawi. But the next morning, which is the 14th, I actually posted again. 14th, which is Saturday morning, before anybody knew about the story that Bushiri is not even in the country. I said, good morning, everyone, except false prophet Bushiri, who escaped from South Africa. Now, why am I saying this? I'm just saying this, just so you would know that I'm not somebody who, a lot of people have been saying I have issues with men of God and pastors and all that. I know I don't have issues with men of God. I have issues with lies. I have issues with falsehood. I have issues with what is fake. And I'm a journalist, Christian journalist. Yes, I'm an ordained pastor, but I'm a journalist. I'm a pastor. I'm a Christian, which is more important than anything. So when I broke this news, a lot of people, and my wife was actually telling me that it's actually shocking that the news media didn't pick this from you when you put this out on Friday. The news media the mainstream media only started talking about this in the afternoon on Saturday, after I have posted this on Friday, and then this 7:30 a.m. on Saturday still. Well, when I got this news, I was sad. And then I was a little bit happy. Why was I sad? I was sad because I knew a lot of people that have been taken advantage of by Shepherd Bushiri. A lot of people that lost money, a lot of women that were sexually assaulted and abused and raped, a lot of people that were spiritually manipulated into, they've damaged them. I know a lot of people who don't want nothing to do with church today because of this charlatan called Bushiri. And then he had the audacity to run away to Malawi. I was very sad. I was sad because I felt that justice is never going to be seen in this case. And I have to be honest with you. I was sad. That was why I was sad. I was sad because an opportunity to really showcase and get justice for so many people just slipped through our fingers because of maybe carelessness. I don't even want to go into why the magistrate, the judge gave him bail or what happened and all that. I don't even want to go into that right now. But for me, it's the victims that I'm thinking about. I know a lot of them. Remember, I have been investigating Bushiri for 5 years, ever since he stepped into South Africa. He's taken me to court so many times. He's threatened me. They've been intimidated. I've received a lot of legal letters from his attorneys. I organized 2 years ago a march against false prophets, and he took me to court trying to stop that. So this is somebody that in and out, I know him and I know his atrocities, and his atrocities are enormous. They are just so huge and large that the damage that he has done to the people in this country, and not just in this country, is just too much. And somebody like that, you want to see justice be met to him. You want to see him put on the orange overall, like they said in South Africa. That means a jail uniform. You want to see him in jail. You want to see him lose all this wealth that he accumulated through criminality. You want to see him lose that. All the hotels that he brags about sometimes, or the cars or the houses that he brags about sometimes. But unfortunately, he has siphoned a lot of these monies to Dubai, to Malawi. He has siphoned a lot of this money. People's money. And now he's run away. What a coward. What a coward. If you know you really believe in God and you trust God, you would stand. And then he has the audacity to come out and give some 5-point demand to the South African government. if they want him to come here and he's ready to come here. But you have to understand, I don't think, when I was listening to him giving those, I was like, this guy is a bit confused and he's a bit paranoid. You don't bring the government into a legal issue. The judiciary is very independent. You cannot bring the government to mediate, to do whatever. It doesn't work that way. Who are you anyway? Who are you? The justice system, let it run its course. Right now, you have jumped bail. So right now, Bushiri is a fugitive. Bushiri, they're going to revoke his bail and he's going to lose everything. And he's in his video that he released yesterday or so, he's saying that they shouldn't revoke his bail. But that's, you jump bail, it's there. It was given to you right there. You were told right there in court, if you jump bail, this is what's going to happen to you. You jump bail with your wife and both of you left after getting bail for 200,000 rand. Now, he said some funny stuff when he came out. Let me play this video, part of the short clip of some of the stuff that he said in his press statement yesterday, which for me was very comical and very funny. He is implicating himself a lot. If I was him, I would just shut up. You're just going to implicate yourself more and more. That's what happens when you talk a lot, when you have verbal diarrhea. That's what happens. If you know God to be a God of justice, if you are a true prophet, which you are not, you would stay here. By virtue of the fact that you ran away, because people who have been actually in between, is he a prophet or not? Now they know that you are not a prophet. You're not ready to die? Let me play this short video. Listen to it.
Do this. I had to come to Malawi to make this address because as part of my bail conditions in South Africa, they said I should not comment anything. I should not say anything. What does that tell you? I should not say anything. I should not comment anything. Now, am I having my rights? I shouldn't say anything. We have got human rights, and one of the rights is, freedom to speech and expression. I can't express myself. I can't express my feeling over this case because they said I should not say anything as a bail condition. One of the bail conditions which is so and greatly criticized judicially is that they said I must not directly or indirectly be in touch or communicate or talk to any state witness. Well, I have no problem with that, but who is that state witness? They never told me who is a state witness. Now, you tell me if I'm in South Africa, if I talk to my driver, do I know? Maybe he's a state witness. If I talk to my neighbor, do I know? Maybe he's a state witness. This is why I had to leave the country, because I don't know who is a state witness. Because one of the bail conditions, I must not talk to any state witness which is anonymous. Now, how will I live in the country? What about my pastors? Maybe they're state witnesses. What about my leaders? What about my church members? I talk to people. I'm a public figure. I talk to everyone else. I speak to everyone else. So for my safety, I am in Malawi right now, and these people, they have tortured my life, tormented my life. I informed all law agencies in South Africa, all relevant authorities, and nothing has been done. So I'm back home to inform my government to look at it that I have a fair trial in South Africa. I hope my government will listen to my formal communication and to me, as I'm not yet in touch with my government. They were away. When I arrived here, they were not in the country. I hope this communication is going to get into the knowledge of my government, and my government is going to take it up to make sure I have got a fair trial in South Africa.
He needs a fair trial. Can you believe it? Can you believe somebody like Bushiri asking for a fair trial? He said two things there. First, he said that the judge told him not to say anything. That's not true. That is not true. You mean they say you shouldn't say anything? Tell us, what did they say? But he said something the same day that you left court. He was live online preaching. So you said they said you shouldn't say anything. What do you mean? Qualify that for me. So you're lying. You're just generalizing. They said, no, you should not intimidate or threaten the state witnesses. You can't tell me your pastors, if they are state witnesses or your driver is a state witness, and then you talk to them, there's a problem. No, they didn't say you shouldn't talk to them. They mean you shouldn't intimidate them. That's what they meant. And you shouldn't go and try to sway them to not testify against you, not to talk to them. Come on, Shepherd. This is like, I mean, this, you think we think we're kids, or we don't know the way legal things work? No, Shepherd. For your own safety, you never thought about your safety when you were taking money from people, defrauding people and raping women and raping girls. You never thought about that. Now you're thinking about your safety and you run away to Malawi. It's so sad to hear that. You know, like I said, for your information, Shepherd arrived Malawi on Wednesday, right? And I was the first to break the news that Shepherd Bushiri has left the country, like I said earlier on. You know, from this tweet that I tweeted on Friday evening, what if I tell you that Bushiri has run away from South Africa? Before, the news media and everybody only knew about this from Saturday afternoon. This was Friday evening that I posted this, right? So we must also, I wanted to make this clear, we must also be sure that we understand that Bushiri didn't live with the president of Malawi. The president of Malawi came here left Malawi on a Wednesday, came here and he was here Thursday, and he left on Friday, 2 days visiting, where he met the president of South Africa. This is the president of Malawi, right? Lazarus Chiwadi, I think, right? So you're looking at this man, and a lot of people are trying to implicate this man and his team. This man only became a president a couple of months ago, right? Now, this man is not your regular president. He's not a politician, by the way. This guy is a pastor all his life, Assemblies of God Church. He was the head of the Assemblies of God Church in Malawi, in the whole of Malawi. He has a PhD in theology. So he's not like one of your makeshift pastors, dodgy pastors and all that. No, you're looking at this man. This man is the one that's going to build Malawi. Malawi is going to be like Rwanda. Soon you will be shocked. This is a man that is ethical. This is a man that has integrity. So all this talk about, Bushiri left with the president of Malawi, please, don't believe those fake news. That's fake news. I can tell you that reliably, fake news, right? But you have to remember, we're talking about Bushiri, and anything is possible with Bushiri. Bushiri can create anything, right? And he can. Somebody asked me, how do you think Bushiri left this South Africa to Malawi? I said I wouldn't be surprised if Bushiri actually went through the borders without a passport. I have to be honest with you. Remember, he submitted all his passport. He has a diplomatic passport, and I'm not sure he submitted his Zambian passport. I heard that he actually has a Zambian passport because remember, his mother is actually Zambian, right? He was Malawian raised, his dad is Malawian, raised in Malawi, but his mother is actually Zambian. So I heard that he had a Zambian passport. I'm not sure if he surrendered that to the police or not, to the courts or not. Now, you have to remember, Bushiri can get his money. So, and the South African borders are very porous. You go there, you can give money, you can go through. There are so many ways to get out of the country into wherever you're going to. So I wouldn't be surprised that Bushiri left South Africa without a passport. Some people are trying to find out, so how did he escape? To be honest with you, I'm still investigating how he escaped. I'm still investigating that. There are a lot of corrupt immigration officials that you could bribe. You bribe them and they could go through. And that is true. It's something that we know. It's something that we know that happens over and over again. So we cannot rule that out. We cannot rule that he left this country. Do you think he flew? I don't think he flew. I don't think he flew out of any airport. I don't think he used a private jet. I don't think he used any of the private, even of the airports or whatever. I think he drove. It takes about 24 hours to drive from here to Malawi. 26 hours from Johannesburg to Malawi. It takes about 26 hours. And once he gets out of South Africa, actually, it's going to be much easier for him because corruption is everywhere. That's why I said I'm so sad that he left the country without facing the justice system. Because to get Bushiri back to South Africa, do you know how corrupt Malawi is? Do you know how corrupt? And he has money. Do you know how corrupt Malawi is? Do you know how corrupt? Do you know how you can pay people up? Do you know why Malawi has been struggling as a country? Because the politicians are so corrupt over and over again. They get money from the UN, they get loans from the World Bank, they just chow the money for themselves. So you're talking about a system, just like Nigeria. If you have money, you can get away with anything. You can do anything that you want. So you can comfortably sit there and keep pushing this for a long time. But if you want to see Bushiri in this country, I'm sorry. You know, even the president of Malawi cannot get him out of there because he would bribe everybody. He would bribe everybody. He would do anything to stay there. Now, let me tell you why Bushiri escaped. Why he had to escape. This is actually the main gist of this broadcast. Based on my investigation, why Bushiri escaped, or why he had to escape. Some of the things that I'm going to share, you know, you're not going to hear it anywhere else because he's not out there yet. But I have three points, three reasons why Bushiri had to escape, why he escaped, why he left South Africa. Three reasons. The first one is his immigration issue, which we all know. He fraudulently obtained his permanent residency with his wife. The affidavit was false. His wife said she got her permanent residency in 1997. It's just like for you who are in the US, it's just like a green card. But then in 1997, she said she got a permanent residency. But she first came into this country in 2012. So how possible is that? And Bushiri also lied about the first time he came into the country, and he was in an affidavit. So they have serious issue because what was going to happen to them is there's a case in court because they were asked to come and explain how they got their permanent residency, which made them legal to stay in South Africa. And shockingly enough, yesterday, if you heard Bushiri's broadcast, he said he applied for his permanent residency in Malawi and got it in Malawi, but he was staying here. Now that's not possible. That's not even supposed to happen. And he got his permanent residency in 4 months. So there's a high court. So when the Department of Home Affairs, which is the Internal Affairs, asked them to come and explain why and how they got their permanent residency, they now quickly ran to court to block it. They say, no, but we have that other case going, so we cannot. So the court says, no, he has a case going, let that case finish up. But then the Department of Home Affairs, even the Minister of Home Affairs now came out and said, no, you know, let's appeal. So they went to court and appeal. And actually, this Friday, there's going to be last Friday there was supposed to be a judgment from the court about the appeal, right? But the judgment was reserved. So that means the judgment that was not given, the judgment is going to be given, you know, in a later date, just so the judge can study, you know, all the presentations that by the defense and also the Department of Home Affairs. So you see, because once he stays, if he doesn't escape, once he loses his status as a as a permanent residency holder, once he's found guilty that they got their permanent residency illegally, then it will complicate his legal case. Then he will be treated like a prohibited immigrant. Then he would lose a lot of rights. Then he would be, if he was found guilty with the cases in court, he will go to prison, and when he comes out of prison, he's going to be deported. Or even if he's not found guilty, he's going to be deported. So whatever happens, he knew that he's going to be deported. So his future is not here. His future doesn't lie here. It's actually difficult for him, and it's only going to be complicated for him to stay here because he might just go to prison for money laundering, for fraud. So that's one of the reasons why he actually escaped. The second reason is, while he was in prison for about 16 days with his wife at the Hosi Mampuru's prison in Pretoria with his wife for about 16 days, from my sources, he was beginning to get frustrated because his connections, his power people, people who have been supporting him, have been promising him that he was not even going to be arrested, first and foremost, about those allegations of forex business and investment schemes. And secondly, they also told him that, you know, they were going to get him out of prison. But that didn't happen. He got arrested, and then he stayed longer in prison. Now, while he was in prison, he began to talk. He began to say that if he goes down, he's going to take people with him. If he goes down, he's going to take people with him. And I'm talking about very powerful people in the country. That's what happened. He was in prison, and he was threatening if he goes down, he's going to take these powerful people with him. And I'm talking about very powerful politicians, very powerful government people that he's going to take with him. So now they had to make a plan to get him bail and to push it and make sure he's out and everything, because he was beginning to be frustrated. He had a deal. Now these powerful people, I'm still trying to understand their relationship. It seems like he pays them protection money. You know, you can give a check of 5 million to somebody, and because they are powerful people in government, whatever happens, they're going to kill the story. So it seems like he's been giving them protection money. And now, with all the millions that he's been giving them, now he's in prison. And it seems like, you know, there's a case. And initially they had told him that, look, the case is not even going to happen. We're not even going to allow you to be arrested. We're not even going to allow the case to get to court. But then the case is in court, and now you are arrested, and now you are in prison with your wife, Mary. So, of course, I paid you to protect me. I paid you to get my back because you knew what I was doing. You knew that I was into forex business that is not straight and legit. You knew that I was taking money from people. So you were part of it, and I gave you part of the loot. So he basically shared the loot with them. So he started talking. He started threat. You know, if I go down, I'm gonna go down with others. So that's about his collaborators. Now the last reason why he had to escape is because the people that were supposed to protect him and had shared the loot with him have taken part of the loot. The people's reputation and credibility was at stake. I will tell you from my sources, from what I hear, there is a currently serving South African minister a minister in the current government of South Africa who is part of the beneficiaries of that loot. And he wants to protect his reputation. He's a senior minister. He wants to protect his reputation. He's a politician. There's elections coming. Once this news come out, obviously it's going to affect him all the way. So now, the best way, since he was in prison and he was threatening to speak, so now here he's out, the whole thing is complicated. Do we trust him? Don't we? They had to make arrangement also for him to leave the country. There's another senior official also. But I can confirm, based on my sources, I can confirm to you that there's a serving minister that is actually, all of you guys know that serving minister. He's a senior minister, been part of the government for a long time. He's actually involved in it. So now their political careers are at stake. Obviously, what do you expect from a politician? You look for every way for you to escape. You look for every way for you to, and they pretend that they don't know anything about it. Or they'll pretend that, they're also, championing for him to be, deported back here to South Africa. So you see what's at stake here, and you don't get to hear that in the media. And for me, the immigration issue is number one. Whether he likes it or not, he's going to be deported. So it's either you wait, go to prison, and then you get deported, or you wait, you don't go to prison, but you still get deported, or you escape. Because your time is up in South Africa. The evidences are there. Secondly, while he was in prison, he was getting frustrated. He started talking, and this guy's got tipped that, look, hey, this guy is talking, so you better do something about it, get him out of there. You got him out of there, it wasn't enough. Now you have to get him out of the country. You think Bushiri is going to come back here? Bushiri will never come back to South Africa. I can tell you that. You would never see him in South Africa. You would never see him in South Africa. He's gone. He's gone. His demands are just unrealistic. It's like, why did you even sit down and write that? Did you really work with legal people to understand the implication of your statements and what you're writing? You're not, you're a commoner, just like everybody. You're not a diplomatic person. He had a diplomatic passport, but he never had a diplomatic status. So you understand the two different. He had a diplomatic passport. You can have a diplomatic passport without enjoying the diplomatic evidences. If he had the diplomatic, benefit, if he had a diplomatic benefit, the South African government wouldn't have arrested him. The South African police, wouldn't have arrested him for money laundering or fraud. But he carries a diplomatic passport that he can travel to anywhere with without needing a visa. But he never enjoys any sort of diplomatic benefits that come, because if you have a diplomatic passport, any country that you go to and you commit an offense, technically they don't have the right to do nothing to you, and all that kind of thing, because you are there representing your country. And then thirdly, his collaborators, which I told you, there are government officials involved, share the loot, you get protection, and now things are backfiring, and they have to get him out because, he's getting closer and closer to opening his mouth and saying a whole lot of stuff. And obviously, Bushiri is somebody that would open his mouth and call names, just so he doesn't go down alone. So when you threaten them, and say, look, if I don't get this, then I'm going to just put your name out there. Obviously, they're going to do whatever it takes to make sure they get you out. Again, I'm very sad that he left the way that he left without facing justice. I don't want to begin to go and blame the court, the judge, or we go and blame the police, or we blame the immigration. How did he get out there? I don't even want to begin to do that now. I just want to concentrate on Bushiri. He ran away. He escaped. He intended to. He wanted to. He knew that was his best option. He knew he was never going to come back here again. He knew he had to go. Either you go or you go to prison, both you and your wife. And he's been here talking about God, all that he wants. Talking about God. What God are you talking about? He doesn't even know who God is. That's the end of story. He doesn't know who God is. Because if Bushiri knows who God is, he's not gonna. He wouldn't do what he did to the so many women and also the so many people that lost money. That's the truth. So you can hear, I mean, maybe in the next few days or in the week, people are going to come up with, this is why he escaped or whatever. But I can tell you that he escaped because there are a lot of more other people, government officials, that are involved based on my sources. There are a lot of more powerful people who are involved, who had shared from the loot, from his crime. And now the heat is on him. He cannot take it anymore. He was in prison before he got bail. He began to talk around, and the fact of the matter is, you cannot just trust anybody, especially politicians. Almost all of them, they have a price, but they will come out and pretend that they are righteous, they have integrity, they're transparent, they're there for the people. Maybe next week, I'm not sure, maybe tomorrow, I'm gonna do a whole short program just around all the stuff that I know about Bushiri. Maybe I should even start with his baby mamas. I know a couple of his baby mamas. Some approached me. I don't even know them. They approached me to tell me they have they have kids for him. And I can put their photos out there. Actually, I'm gonna do that. I'm gonna put photos of his baby mamas out there. They have kids for him. I've spoken to people that invested money into his forex business and investment schemes, But that's the end of Bushiri. That's the end of Enlightened Christian Gathering. That's the name of his church, isn't it? ECG. That's the end of ECG in South Africa. He's from Malawi, obviously, he's gonna be doing his Zoom, whatever, broadcast online and still be deceiving people. But what I'm happy about is his influence has been cut off. 80% or 90% of his influence has been cut off over the nation of South Africa. The Bible says the wicked will run even though no one is chasing them. The wicked will run. The wicked, Bushiri, the wicked, will run even though no one is chasing them. No one is chasing him. He's running. He said, his life is at stake. They tried to kill him and all. All that was all made up. All that is just talk. How did you get there that you were saying people are trying to kill you? What did you do? What did you actually do? But that's just the end of it. Now he's going to be restricted. He's not going to be able to travel a lot that he wants. Bushiri is a young man. How old is he? 38 maybe now, 39. He's stolen so much money. He's built a lot of stuff in Malawi, shopping mall. He's built so much. His money is in Dubai. He's invested in very good business. So he steals from people here, and then he invests into really great businesses. But then they invest in his business and get nothing. He invests in great businesses, like really global businesses, and he gets money. He gets good profit from it. So, again, Bushiri didn't leave with the president of Malawi. That's not true. He left before the president of Malawi arrived. So, forget about that. That's fake news. All that you want. He never left with them. All this one you see cars going to Malawi, and you must be careful with the Malawian press, especially if you get any news from the Malawian press. I don't think they do their investigation very well. It's sad, but I've read a couple of things from the Malawian press, and you have to also understand that a lot of Malawians don't even care about Bushiri. They know he's fake. They know he's fake. So it's not something that is really trending there, to be honest with you. But I mean, he was on the cover of the newspapers in Malawi this morning, all over. They're talking about it, obviously. But know that why Bushiri left, there is so much to it. It's not because he's running away and trying to save his life, like he said. It's not because he felt he doesn't have the money to pay back. It's not because he's guilty alone, but because there are certain powerful people who are involved in what he was doing, and which he may implicate as time goes on. So they're trying to make sure they safeguard themselves and protect themselves. So I want to encourage us to continue to pray for the members of Enlightened Christian Gathering, that's Bushiri's church in South Africa. A lot of them have been brainwashed for a long time. And now they are like sheep without a shepherd, because shepherds ran away. Shepherd Bushiri ran away. They are like orphans. Let's pray that God will really help restore them. All the rubbish is put inside of them is going to take a long time. His churches are going to gradually, they're going to begin to disappear. Remember, his church is not going to be able to stand. He's not going to be able to continue because his church was built as a one-man show. You see the problem with a lot of charismatic and Pentecostal churches. You put focus on this one man. That's not the way God wants it. It was a one-man show. It was Major One. People go there because of Major One. So now Major One is not here. And actually in Pretoria, the last place where they were meeting during the lockdown, I think a couple of 3-4 months ago, they were actually evicted from there because their tenantship was not renewed. So they're actually homeless right now. So they're all scattered. So it's a one-man show. Now the man is not there, right? Now the man is not there. So obviously, people are not going to go there because the man is not there anymore. Be careful when you see a church that is run by one man, where everything is just that man. Everything is just that man, that man. The focus is him, him. Be careful. That's a sign of a cult, because that's how a cult operates. So gradually we're going to see his church is going to gradually disappear. Would he be arrogant and go back to his old ways of arrogancy? No, he's not going to go back to his old ways of arrogancy. Because even the government in Malawi will tell him, look, you have to shut up. Because this whole thing is turning into a diplomatic scandal now. Now it's becoming between South African government and the Malawian government. And the two has a very good relationship. That's why their president came and visited South Africa last week for 2 days. Anyway, so guys, that's what I have to share with you. If I get any more update, I would definitely update you. But just so you know that there are powerful people involved, because they benefited from some of Bushiri's loot and crime. And also he knew he was going to be deported one way or the other. So prisoner get deported or not. So he was beginning to speak. But yeah, that's all I have to share with you tonight. I haven't even read the comments, what people are saying here. But please, if I would encourage you to please share this broadcast. If you haven't subscribed to my YouTube channel, please subscribe to my YouTube channel. There are a lot of other videos there that you can check out. You're really gonna find interesting. But I'm gonna keep digging. I'm gonna keep digging, and also I'm going to, I'm gonna be bringing the different angles of Bushiri that I know of, you know, and just over the years, some of the stuff that our confrontation together, you know. But please share this, and please subscribe to my YouTube channel. And I'll really appreciate if you subscribe right now as you are here. And yeah, so the wicked are running away. There's another wicked that ran away to Europe. They're running away. You know, guys, when I heard that Bushiri had run away, it's like I should cry or I should laugh, because I've been on this for a long time. I've been, when Omoto Show, the day that Omoto Show, Tim Omoto Show, the Nigerian prophet that is in prison now in Port Elizabeth in South Africa for the last 3 years because of raping women and whatever, the day that he's going to be sentenced to prison, I would cry, because I know the girls, I know what he did to them. The day that Bushiri is going to go to prison or whatever, I would be so excited. Even though he escaped, well, it's better for us to get half of it than to get the full of it, isn't it? But the best case scenario is for him to go into prison. But at least now he cannot continue to manipulate people the way that he used to. And there are a lot of them. Zondo, Bishop Zondo, the day that they're going to go to prison, the way that he's going to go to prison, or his church going to be shut down, because Bushiri's church is shut down. I think that's the most exciting thing for me now. The church is shut down. So you and I, foot soldiers, we need to do something about those people. Sometimes we see them on social media. Maybe some of them are actually here commenting. But we have to love them and to try to give them time, patience with them, and just so we can lead them to the truth. Well, thank you guys, really appreciate it. God bless you. Whatever I have maybe on social media, please follow me on Twitter also, Solomon Ashams, or follow me on Facebook. Sometimes I post certain things that I don't put on YouTube. And most importantly, please subscribe to this YouTube channel. During the week, I'm going to try to do at least 2 broadcasts this week around Bushiri. There's certain stuff that I want to put out. Like I said, I promise you, I'm going to do a broadcast on his baby mamas, you know, because we need to be able to know what this guy had done, and we need to be able to know that men of God, there's a lot of them that do this. I'm actually going to do, yes, I got a call from Nigeria today. I'm actually going to do a broadcast on Apostle Johnson Suleiman. Big charlatan. Big charlatan. About 2-3 years ago, somebody who met him in the strip club in Johannesburg, in Rivonia here, actually called me, got in touch with me rather, and told me what happened between them. So I'm going to do a broadcast around him and discuss that again. And some of the stuff that the guy is breaking the marriages of his pastors. Yeah, we're going to do that anyway. So charlatans, people in Nigeria, you think you have charlatans in South Africa, go to Nigeria. They are like in almost every street. Nigeria needs help. Nigeria is there's no church in Nigeria, to be honest with you, because if there's a church, we're not going to be seeing a lot of what we see. That's what the church does. The church, the presence of a church, and not everybody needs to be Christian. But when the church is full of truth, when the church is full of the Holy Spirit, even if the population of the Christians in the country is just 30%, that's all God needs. You will see the change. So don't tell me, Nigerians, don't tell me there's a church in Nigeria. There's no church in Nigeria. There are buildings and people going into these buildings, but there's no church. Because when I go to the police station, the same people that go to church are the one wanting to get bribe from me, which I will not give them. Because when I go to the bank, the same thing. When I go to get something from the government, the same thing. It's a culture. Anyway, I'm talking and talking and talking too much now. So, but guys, thank you so much. I really appreciate you. I pray for you that you have a wonderful week. I pray for you that the Lord will bless you. I pray for you that truth, the areas of your life where truth doesn't reign, where you are pushing truth away, I pray for you that you would open your heart for the truth to come in, because it's for your own benefit. And I pray for you that wherever area that you're believing God for, you would allow the truth of God to come in. I pray for the members of ECG, Bushiri's church, who is left. I pray that God would be their father. He's a father to the fatherless. I pray that God would show them, a lot of them, that look, this is who this man really is. I pray that you would open their eyes from that blindness, from that spiritual blindness. I pray that you would open their eyes and they will see the truth. So thank you so much, guys. God bless you. And I would definitely see you tomorrow, or see you during the week. Have a wonderful week. God bless you. Bye.